This is the Hobbyking TL2000, so it's a 1.1 meter wingspan RC airplane, and I'm really eager to get this one in the air and fly it. And so let's talk more later, but first off, let's find a nice location and get a Maiden done on this one. So here I have the TL2000 and it's time to do Maiden on it. I really don't know what to expect. It's a new kind of RC airplane to me. So let's see if it can taxi on the grass and if I can get it up in the air without any issues. So I'm just actually challenging it a little bit just to get a sense of, I'm quite high up, just to get a sense of control surfaces and how to best manage the throttle and what kind of throws on the sticks I need to do things. I actually set up my TX so I have 30% expo on all these surfaces. But it does certainly, it can be do snappy maneuvers with the TL2000. And you don't even have to push the throttle to manage to go through these maneuvers. You can actually just have a gentle throttle push and it will go through without problems. Nice loops, steady and straight. You don't know what to expect from an RC airplane, but so far I think this one flies really good. I like it when I don't have to push the throttle too much and still be able to do things. And this one is certainly agile and does nice loops and rolls. So I mean, it appears to be a really nice flying RC airplane. Nice and gentle loops. It doesn't drop anywhere, it just goes through them. And the same thing with rolls. It does also glide kind of nice and drop the nose just a little bit, but just with a, maybe 20% throttle, I actually have it flying in a nice gliding slope. So let's have a closer look at this TL2000 now. I'll set the timer for 5 minutes for this maiden flight just to not challenge myself when it comes to pushing it too much and flying for too long. But I also have the Avian ESR inside telling me voltage information, so I know not to drop too low actually, but 5 minutes is going to be a nice flying time as a start, and then I can increase it on the next flight. So when I let go of the throttle, it does actually just have a nice gliding downward gliding slope, which I think is a nice behavior. It doesn't drop straight off, but it feels like it goes straight when I just let it glide. So it's kind of fast, not it's super fast RC airplane. Of course, I could put in if I could fit, I could put in a 4-cell battery because the ESC can take it. I don't know if the motor can, but I cannot fit a 4-cell battery inside, so it's only 3-cell. I'm actually running this one on a 3-cell smart 2200 milliamp battery, which I think is a really nice battery and fits a lot of RC airplanes. So I think I have like 5 of them right now. So here's the final turn then. I'm just going 0 throttle and just let it glide down and have some bit of a throttle flare. Yeah, a really nice glide slope to land, especially when I have this this space around where I can actually have this long approach also. So that's the Maiden of the TL2000. A really enjoyable large airplane actually. You don't know what to expect, but this Maiden did really go well, I think. And the pilot seems to be happy as well. So I had a really nice time flying this Hobbyking TL2000 actually. But when I first got it, I had, to me at least, issues. First off, the prop was broken. So what I've done, I've already had this master air screw 3-bedded prop. So I replaced it with that prop. And when I started to put in the battery and try to get the prop to spin, I discovered the ESC was actually broken and just started to smell right away, so I had to unplug it. So I replaced the prop, and I also put a Avian 30 amp ESC inside. The stock ESC is actually 40 amp, but I measured the load on this prop, and it does actually go up on maximum load to 36 amps, and the Avian ESCs actually can go burst load up to 45 amps, so I think I'm safe. And as you can see, this one does actually have a pilot inside, which is something that the stock one doesn't come with, so I did actually purchase this pilot from Pitchler. And it's always difficult to find nice fitting pilots, but I think this looks actually really nice with this guy inside. So this is Rudy flying this RC airplane. I mean, assemble of many RC airplanes is easy. You have to glue the rear stabilizer, which to me at least, I think it's much better to have a few screws to do it. But some I think it's better to use glue, but I don't think that's a good idea, because if you have screws, you can actually just disassemble the RC airplane and put it back in the box again. The main wing is actually held by these special thumb screws, so it's a toolless thing, and you actually have these holders over here and over here to attach the included floats. So this one can run on both water and on land. There was also a bit of problem to actually fit everything inside, because it's a bottom feeder, so the hatch for the battery and electronics is underneath. And although this space might look like quite roomy, the wing spar is actually going here, so you cannot push the battery in this direction. And there's actually not a good place anywhere to put the receiver. So what I ended up doing was actually in one of the sides, on the inside, I actually cut out some foam and put the AR630 receiver inside. And what I've discovered so far, to put a 3-cell 2200 milliamp battery in the 30C range works just great, and the CG is actually spot on, which is not according to the manual, but when I fly it, I can tell that the CG is just spot on. So I've tried the 50C, 3-cell 2200 milliamp battery, but they are, I can squeeze them in, but I don't think it's worth it really. So just go for the 30C 2200 milliamp batteries. Also these landing gears, they are aluminum gears, and I actually replaced the wheels. So the wheels are, I felt like I want to have something more dampness, so these are a little bit larger, and they are rubber, some kind of rubber material. And I also replaced the nose wheel, and the nose wheel is, thankfully, there's actually a spring mechanism, so this one can actually take a hit, although I think the actual mount inside is all plastics, so I'm not really sure how long it will last if I have a too rough landing on the nose wheel. On the other hand, I think all the landings I've done so far with this one, it's a really nice gliding approach. So I'm not really sure that you will, nose crash this one on landing, at least. Of course, you can do it when you fly. If you lose orientation, you just go straight down. But as far as you have a kind of a smooth background, short grass or something, I think the landings and hopefully the nose wheel will just last. I think these main wheels will last a long time because they are really solid. As far as flying, I think it's agile. You can go quite slow with it, which is nice, even though without flaps. I'm actually, as the ailerons are so wide, I've actually programmed my receiver, and I'd actually put the ailerons on 2 separate channels. So this plane is actually set up like flaperons, and flaperons mean that you use the aileron as flaps. So you can reduce speed. So that's a really simple way to actually get flaps on an RCR plane that doesn't have flaps. On the downside is when you increase the angle of the flaps, you have less deflection to actually control the RCR plane. But I didn't want to experiment too much with these things on the maiden flight, so I will certainly come back to it and experiment more with the flaperons. But I mean, overall, it started kind of with a few issues with this one, but it flies really nice. It's fun to fly, and I think with this pilot inside, it's a really nice RCR plane actually.